Hello, Sage GC here, director of 20-Sided Stories, coming at you with a update on all things in the 20-Sided Stories sphere, specifically though talking about Patreon stuff and kind of where we're at with the show going forward and our plans for the future. So for the past couple of months, when we've been in sort of a dark period, we've been talking a lot about the future of the show and what we want to do and how we can focus on the growth of the show and making sure that whatever the next season is, can't talk about it, is going to be better than the last. And really what that's come down to is trying to focus more on our patrons and our Patreon in general, and really working to make sure that that's a space where we can collaborate with our listeners and offer some really good incentive for anyone who's sticking around and following us on this journey. If it wasn't clear, this show takes a lot of time to produce. I put in at least 30 hours per episode, and that's not even including social media that Travis and Jess helped me with, or setting up to record, or research, and buying things, and scheduling, and the list goes on and on and on. It's really hard, but I love it, and I don't want to stop. So in order to make sure I don't have to stop, and that I don't drop dead of exhaustion, we're going to be switching the Patreon to a monthly model. So what this means is, up until this point, the Patreon has been at a per series model, which basically means that up front, at least as the plan was, it's already hard to explain, and this is already why I need to switch it. But basically the idea was that, you'd only be charged for the first episode, and then you'd get the whole season to binge. But it's just not really possible or sustainable for us to do the show with that model, at least not with the type of quality that we want to keep. So that's why we're going to switch to monthly, to make sure that there's a lot less of a dark period in between seasons. The dream right now is to get to where we have one season in the spring and another season in the fall. It's a pretty wild dream. I don't know if I'm going to pull that off, but my hope is that we can get there within the next year, especially with the growth of Pokemon and how that's helped the show, which leads me to the next thing, because some people might be wondering, how is a $3 Adventure Pass worth it? Especially monthly. That's ridiculous. Sage, what are you doing? Check it. The Adventure Pass has actually been stacking up quite a bit, and we have a lot of episodes already there. And in addition, we want to sweeten the deal. So we're going to make our first two seasons, Macabreverse and Victoria 1890, Patreon exclusive from here on out. The only way to listen to those two completely polished seasons that started us off is with an Adventure Pass. So anybody who only maybe can drop in for a month, you have a ton of content already up front for you to listen to. And anybody who's sticking around and sustaining with us for months to come, we're actually also going to be updating the Adventure Pass at least once a month. You can expect some sort of Catacombs bonus behind the scenes episode, or a mini-sode, a discussive sort of episode. We have a whole list of things that we're going to be hitting. Those will be added at least once a month, something, and some months you'll have more than one thing, and we want to make sure that that's something we can sustain and keep going forward, so that way, once again, there's no dark periods anymore. So for anybody who's tweeted at us saying that they love Macabreverse or Victoria, specifically the ending of Macabreverse and Matilda in Victoria, your love is appreciated. By no means do we intend to lock these seasons behind a door, as is probably already the case for like 95% of you. I think Pokemon is the best first impression for what we're trying to do with 20-Sided Stories, especially going forward. Pokemon kind of hit on a very specific tone and a very specific chemistry. I think as a package, it's really what I was trying to get to with 20-Sided Stories, and so we want to double down on that and keep it going, and that's kind of going to be considered our real season 1. And what's cool about it is Macabreverse and Victoria and Lasers and Feelings, that's like 9 hours of content up front for anybody who drops some support and gets an Adventure Pass right there for you to download right away. And since the Adventure Pass has everything that's in the public feed, just plus a bunch of other stuff, it's also going to have ad-free, completely bingeable versions of every episode of 20-Sided Stories, including Pokemon. So starting in March, I'm going to be uploading episodes 1 through 8 of Pokemon without any mid-roll or anything. Macabreverse and Victoria will be updated to be of slightly higher quality, as well as the improv scenes taken out, because those are going to be their own thing. And for anybody who supports us in March, for those who are signed up already, we're going to be releasing the episode 0 test session, character building session that me, Greg, Jessica, and Travis did for Pokemon prior to recording, where they build Candace and Skip and Xander. We all figured out what the starters were and kind of what the chemistry was and how they knew each other. It's a really interesting, fun recording. So that's going to be the update for March, and then from there on out, we'll be on a monthly model. And if for whatever reason you could only support that one time and you have to drop out, no worries. We're not going to judge you. Just put it in that exit survey, say financial situation or whatever it may be, and come back when you want to listen to some more stuff when we update it in the future. We have so much stuff that we want to do, both our public seasons that I can't talk about and also with bonus behind the scenes stuff in the Adventure Pass. But all of that is to come. I think this covers everything that I wanted to talk about today. If you have any questions at all, please do not hesitate to message us. You can message us directly through Patreon. There's also Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, or you can go to 20sidedstories.com where we have a contact form. Whatever floats your boat. I've loved talking to people, anybody who's messaged me, even those who are just like, where's Pokemon? And I'm like, hey, it's coming. And yeah, I'll do that all day if I have to, because I really want to make sure that we're being more proactive with building a community, reaching out to our listeners and trying to tell all these stories together, because oh boy, you're in for some stuff. All right, that's it. Thank you so much. My name is Sage GC. I'll see you on the next 20-Sided Story. Later.